stand next to it so we can get some photos.
It's so cool. Oh, love it. God.
Now,
The thing I love about Tom's work is it's actually technically accurate. Everything he does is real. You know, a lot of guys sort of sketch stuff out there, but Tom's work is like, God, that is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
so at one point Tom said, you know, we need a title. And I went, oh my God, original artwork does have titles.
Yeah.
So the title is, and you're going to have to explain it to people, On the Verge of Being Self-Evident.
Ah, yes. All right, there are 3 stages that new designs go through, and the first is that, you know, absolutely people just discount the ideas, because when I first showed up with this idea and tried to convince Shelby what I was going to do with a strange looking roof line and a chopped off tail and everything, I mean, he thought I was crazy, but I finally convinced him that it might work pretty good. And then, of course, he went and talked to our chief engineer, who said, that's even dumber an idea. So then he went the other way and said, no, it's not going to work. So if it had not been for Ken Miles coming in and backing me up and going back to Shelby and telling him, you know, this guy's got a pretty good idea on what's going with the aerodynamics, because nobody in the United States had done anything like this at all. They were just starting to do something at the Zagato in a small class car, but nobody had ever done a car like this. And so we took the standard car, which Ken Miles driving a standard competition roadster that he held the lap record with out at Riverside, put this new body on it, and we were 3.5 seconds a lap faster the first time out right off the trailer. So we knew right off that we had a car that was going to be competitive. So the 3 stages, the first one is everybody says what a dumb idea it is.
It's ridiculed.
You know, ran out with the car, and Ken was super fast, and in 1964, on every track we ran, we didn't win every race, but we held the lap record at every track that we ran on in Europe in 1964. And the real win for me on it was that Ford had come out with the GT40 at that time, and they didn't finish 1 race. So we went from winning every lap record on every track that we ran to getting that close to actually winning the championship in 1964. And at that point, Ferrari quit at the end of it and said, I give up, I'm going to turn this all over to my customers and let them race. And so the 65, it was like shooting fish in the barrel. It went out and annihilated everybody, and we won the championship at 65. But morally, we won it in 1964. So seeing this in this thing, Tom, that's so cool, Tom. I can't believe it. Thank you, babe.
And again, the name is?
On the Verge of Being Self-Evident. So I'm gonna read what this is. Arthur Schopenhauer, Howard's he's a philosopher, and the 3 phases of truth. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed, and third, it is accepted as self-evident.
Right. So that was a perfect example of that.
So this is right before the car goes to its first race in Daytona. It's been pulled out of the shop. It's going to be put on the truck to be taken to Daytona. And they decide, okay, Peter, stand next to it. We'll get a few photos. This is from a black and white photo.
Yeah.
So Tom, speaking of accuracy, is like, okay, what color is his shirt?
Yeah.
We could tell it wasn't white. What color is the tie? I said, you know, I think he's got that tie.
For example.
Yeah. So, you know, and just the colors. So, remember those questions I was asking you? Was Michael Tarn's cars the right color?
Oh, yeah.
That's because we had.
Doing all this sneaky job.
I was doing myself. And Tom's like, are you sure he doesn't know about this? And I'm like, I ask him questions all the time.
Yeah.
So, and photos of the real car back in the day, there are some color photos, but they were Kodachrome, so they're not accurate. So we had these contemporary photos of these replicas, and Peter said, yes, that's the right color. The reflections, I just love, you can see it's electric tape wrapped around a wooden steering wheel. the reflections of the light poles and the wires and the windows,
Wow, that's
the
incredible.
chalk on the tires.
Yeah.
It's, you know, well,
To give you an idea of how close Tom detail on this, nobody else would notice it. I looked at this photograph. If you look really close, you can see those little holes in the front of the here, and there's little bits of gas flow going out there. That you caught that detail. Now, the reason for that is that the highest pressure on this car to get induction is this slot right here. So this is where the air goes in for the carburation on it. And the pressure was so great that we ran it, that the pressure came out, and it was so much that if we had allowed to run the car, it would have run lean. And we could tell from the overspray out of the carburetors. So we drilled some holes in the front to relieve that pressure so that it would come through, and you can actually see the gas flow coming out of there. So that relief in there, you caught that detail. That's absolutely amazing, Tom, that you saw that. That's such an incredible detail.
so there was another thing I asked you about on the photo.
Yeah.
There was something black here. It looked like an electric plug or something. And Tom was sending me photos of the work as he was working on it. And I
Yeah.
said, well, Tom, we've got this spot back, bright spot
Yeah.
back here, and you know, that need to go away. And he said, look at the photo. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that? So I showed you the photo, and I said, what is that? He said, heck, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I said to Tom, okay, we're taking it out. Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah.
Tom found a photo of this car at Le Mans. It's a padlock.
Oh, really? Oh, there, yeah.
And it was
Yes.
flipped over so that the
Yep.
part was through the thing there, and then the bottom of the padlock was facing this way. So you saw
Okay.
the bottom of the padlock. So,
Outstanding.
and I said, yeah, no, we don't need the
Yeah.
padlock.
Thank
so.
you, darling. Fabulous.
And
Thank you, senor. God, it's great.
And I need to give you a kiss from your daughter who wanted to be here.
Oh, okay. That's
So
really
Ryan-
great.
So Ryan says our thoughts are with you tonight.
Excellent. I'm glad.
And here's the certificate, which talks about the title and why it
All right.
was titled that way, as well as a personal note from Tom.
Fabulous. How beautiful. Boy, that made my day. I'll tell you.